He hits this one deep to left field. That's got a chance. And Siriaco will touch them all.
Pedro Siriaco introducing himself to Padre fans last night. An RBI triple, two-run home run. He's 7 for 17 as a Padre and helped San Diego to a 6-3 win last night over Yasiel Puig and the Dodgers. Puig, another home run. He's got 6 already this month of June, and he is setting historical records with a slugging percentage. We're set on a beautiful Friday night at Petco Park, downtown San Diego. It's the Padres and the Dodgers, game 2 of a 4-game series. And good evening, everyone. Along with Mark Grant, Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn, Dick Enberg, we're pleased that you joined us. Boy, the action the last 2.5, 3 weeks of Padres, every game seems like a playoff. Plenty of excitement, and we can expect more tonight, and maybe it'll come instead of the hitters from the mound, because we have 2 left-handers named Clayton ready to go against each other.
Well, Clayton Richard in his last start against Arizona was outstanding. I mean, 8 innings. He only gave up 1 run. You can see he didn't walk anybody. He only struck out 1, but 90 pitches for 8 innings. Hopefully that's the start that gets him back on track, because his last start he was outstanding and he did a super job.
And Clayton Kershaw, he leads the National League again in ERA and batting average against.
And the one thing that this Padre offense has proven is that they can beat a #1 pitcher in the rotation for a lot of ball clubs. Tonight, it's going to be Clayton Kershaw, only 25 years old. The amazing stat, 107 in the 3rd innings pitch. He's only surrendered 73 hits. Cy Young Award winner, double-digit in wins the last 3 years. But a big key tonight, guys, is the walks. They've beaten Clayton Kershaw twice this year. In one game, 4 walks. In the other game, 3 walks. Work the walk, and remember, early on the fastball, if they hunt the fastball early against Clayton Kershaw, they got another chance of beating this left-hander tonight.
And Clayton Richard and Clayton Kershaw will depend on that defense. Help them out with a double play. My favorite element in this great game of baseball. And we'll examine the twin killings when we come back to Petco.
Padres fans and Dodgers fans gearing up for Game 2 of this series as we welcome you back into Petco Park. I'm Laura McKeeman. All right, everyone. Well, the Padres' middle infield looks a little different these days with Everth Cabrera and Jed Jerko both on the DL. But Logan Forsythe and Pedro Siriaco have filled in nicely there, especially last night when they turned 2 double plays in big spots. Now, sometimes it takes a while to develop that chemistry in the middle infield, but it looks like Forsythe and Siriaco are doing well in that category, at least on the field. Here both of them are in our Geico quote of the game.
You know, we've been able to get out there pregame, take ground balls together, you know, get to talking, and kind of got a good feel for each other from, you know, day one.
It's like I say, I feel pretty good here. You know, I'm the new guy, like, but I feel comfortable, and you know, we've been working and trying to, you know, have fun and play hard and win ball games.
Well, as you can see, these two gentlemen are still getting to know each other, but they're giving it all they have in that middle infield as Jed Jerko and Everth Cabrera get closer and closer to their return. Well, stay tuned. Coming up right after this, it's the Padres and the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw against Clayton Richard in Game 2 of this 4-game set. Dick Enberg and Mark Grant have the call.
Now the Padres making it a 6-4 mark against the Dodgers. There are 10 games so far this year. Dodgers 8.5 behind Arizona. The Padres only 2.5 out of first place, owned at the moment by the Diamondbacks. As we welcome you to Petco Park, some of the fans enjoying a little Friday night picnic. It's 2013 Hispanic Heritage Night and Law Enforcement Night. We'll get into that in a moment. Here's tonight's Dodgers lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Mark Ellis, Yasiel Puig, Adrian Gonzalez the first 3, then Ramirez, Uribe, and Ellis. Skip Schumacher bats 7th, Elian Herrera 8th, and Clayton Kershaw, not a bad hitter. He's got a home run, hitting .219 himself. And Clayton Richard's first pitch is just out of the strike zone to Mark Ellis. Richard, now 29 years of age, Lafayette, Indiana, University of Michigan. 2-0. Well, he gives the late call strike. 1-1, and Ellis looks back as if to say, "You sure about that one?" And Clayton Richard, second pitch of the game, has come up with a problem. No indication of flinching or feeling for an injury or maybe even illness. Remember, he had that stomach problem for a while. It's so serious they placed him on the DL, and very unusual event. Only the second pitch of the game, and the Padres have to go to the bullpen, and Tim Stauffer, the veteran right-hander, jogs in. Let's see if we can detect something on this delivery by Clayton Richard.
As soon as he threw that ball, he straightens right up. Kind of tough to tell what that might be. Bad follow through, straightens straight up, and it starts to walk towards the first base line.
No facial expression that indicated pain. Well, as soon as we get a report, Laura will share it with us.
He knew right away, whatever it was.
So Tim Stauffer will be allowed as many tosses as he feels necessary in order to be properly warmed up, as he gets the call unexpectedly, and you can see the Darren Bosley and Bud Black puzzled by it all. Laura's down near the Padre dugout, and as soon as we can get an official word, we'll share it with you. Well, while we have a moment, let's check the Padres defense, brought to you tonight by the Aramco Group. Kyle Blanks in left, Will Venable will patrol center field, and Chris Denorfia in right. Headley, Siriaco on the left side, Forsythe and Guzman at second and first. Nick Hundley behind the plate, and scratch Clayton Richard, as Tim Stauffer now will take over with the count 1-1 on leadoff hitter Mark Ellis.
Guys, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I know both of you guys probably seen more baseball than I have. It's odd.
Not the second pitch.
Stauffer, meanwhile, has been working out of the bullpen after being utilized primarily as a starting pitcher in his career with the Padres. And he's back in a familiar role, although just to get his head into the game, as a bullpen man, you can sit out there and analyze it, talk about the game, get in 5th, 6th, 7th inning. But here, boom, you're thrown into the fire. Let's go back to the warm-ups for Clayton Richard. Maybe that will indicate something. Super slow motion, our phantom camera. That's the first pitch.
So this is the first pitch of the game here.
And the second offering, and he wasted no time in heading for the dugout.
You know what the thing is? I mean, usually when a pitcher, I don't know whether he grabbed, he really didn't indicate. You know, a lot of guys will grab where they're hurting, whether it's the elbow, the oblique, the hamstring, or whatever the case may be. Well, he really didn't show any emotion or any grab anything to indicate that is where the injury is.
The only thing I would say on that follow through, he wasn't.
He didn't follow through.
He was straight up and down. It was it was like he really didn't get his body into that delivery. But we're only speculating. Let's wait.
Well, Tony, you make out many a lineup with your Aztecs, and from the other point of view, from the Dodger point of view, Don Mattingly has his lineup set with right-handed batters facing the left-hander Richard. Now, with a change, Tim Stauffer gets to work against an almost totally a right-handed hitting lineup for the Dodgers.
And if you're Don Mattingly, you almost have to say, hey, I have faith in this lineup that I put out here. And you're right. It was a left-handed starter going in there, so you got a lot of right-hand hitters in this lineup, and let's see if he'll shuffle the deck here as this game goes on. Will he make moves early?
No, Clayton Kershaw just has to sit and watch and wait.
Well, Laura McKeeman is down by the Padre dugout. What have you learned, Laura?
Well, hey, Dick, no official word yet, but the word in the dugout is that Clayton Richard's shoulder was bothering him before the game. So that's the theory right now among the members of the team who are still in the dugout. They're waiting to find out official word as we go on. But lots of concerned faces down here. And, of course, Bud Black and Darren Balsley lead that list. Balsley just went into the clubhouse for a little while, obviously, to check on his starting pitcher.
All right. Thank you, Laura. And Certainly, if we receive more official word, Laura will pass that along to us.
The guys checking numbers. You mentioned the righty, lefty, lefty, righty with the pitchers out there. Now the righty, Tim Stauffer. Righty's hitting 306 off Timmy, and lefty's hitting 212 off the Padre right-hander.
So just the reverse of what you would expect. There are two left-handed hitters in the lineup. Adrian Gonzalez batting third, and Skip Schumacher, the seventh hitter. Gonzalez doesn't really seem to be bothered whether you're right or left. Just get it up there, and he'll hit it. So Tim Stauffer, it's his game. There's the evidence of right-handers surprisingly having more success so far this year against his right-handed deliveries than the left-handed batters. And the first pitch is delivered into right field. Mark Ellis with a single.
Just with the fastball, 1-1 count.
Yeah, it looked like he was just trying to go to right field.
So the leadoff hitter on, and Yasiel Puig introduced. Puig is setting, we don't have his slugging percentage on there, but you can go back a whole century and finally one man in his first 16 games who had a higher slugging percentage as a major league rookie in his debut than Puig. Mandy Brooks, the Cubs. He had 51 total bases in his first 16 games, and then Puig is next, 49.
Wow.
Oh, thank you.
Homered his first time up on the first pitch he saw from Jason Marquis last night. Has 3 of his 6 homers against the Padres.
If Puig wants to bunt, that's fine with me.
He had a bunt base hit against New York in game 1, and this time he was looking to push a bunt past the pitcher.
And fouls that away.
Remember how they pitched him last night? Sliders down and away.
Here's the one that he jacked out in right center field last night, 406 feet into the sandbox. But then the Marquis struck him out the next 2 at bats with breaking balls away. Ground ball toward the hole and through. Well, the first 2 men up have base hits for the Dodgers against Tim Stauffer. Left that breaking ball out over the plate.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to get in on Puig that time, and said the fastball was.
That was a fastball.
Yeah, right in the middle of the plate. He comes over the top.
Yeah, he got in on him. Well, you're right, Tony. Down by the label, just happened to find a hole. That hole being the 5.5 hole that you were so familiar with.
So 2 men on, no one out, and Adrian Gonzalez the batter. So far, that statistic about right-handed hitters having more success against Stauffer proving out. Let's see if that also will bear out against the left-handed hitter Gonzalez, that the lefties don't do as well against him. Ball 1. Gonzalez at 304 to start tonight. But against San Diego since being traded away to Boston, and then with the Dodgers last year hitting .425 against San Diego pitching.
I think one of the reasons why, just one of the reasons why Tim Stauffer might have that success against lefties is because of the off-speed stuff. Tim's got a good changeup. He's got a good 2-seam fastball that'll sink away, and lefties have a tendency sometimes to kind of hook that rather than going with the pitch. We'll have to see how effectively he pitches inside to righties tonight.
Infield looking for a ground ball chance to turn 2. But Stauffer falls behind 3-0. And the Dodgers are making some of the Padre fans squirm a bit here at Petco early with a couple of singles and now falling behind Gonzalez 3-0. A man who delivers with runners in scoring position. Gonzalez in his career, .332.
Pretty good names on that list.
And he takes a high strike. Well, Now I realize why I missed that first strike. Tim McClellan's behind the plate. He doesn't show you his right arm when he calls the strike. He hides it. You see it from the center field area, but for those of us behind the umpires and behind home plate, you have to kind of guess whether he's called it a strike or not.
As a hitter, there's a verbal call.
Whoa, right off Stauffer. Able to use his body to block the ball and throw out Gonzalez. Saved a base hit and a run with a hockey save. Now is he okay? That ball was hit flush. Did he get enough glove on there to take away some of the blow?
That sounded like straight thigh, straight leg.
Solid.
Yeah.
Right off the thigh. He has the wherewithal to stay with the play and get the out at first.
Now they're going to go out and talk Paul Navarro, the assistant trainer, with Stauffer to make sure he's okay. Well, that really would be a crazy first inning, wouldn't it, to lose 2 pitchers with only 1 out recorded in the first inning. He'll get a couple of throws just to see if he's all right. That ball was hit hard in slow motion. You can't appreciate, but that ball was crushed.
Yep. See Adrian Gonzalez swing. He's right on the barrel on that. Staged through it nicely, and luckily for the Padres, they get an out on the play because it was ticketed for center field. Go right up the middle.
Hanley Ramirez hitting cleanup. He's been the hottest Dodger hitter in the past few games. 8 for 12 in the last 3 games. High batting average at 372. He's had only 43 at bats. So boy, he had good swings in every at bat last night. A couple of hits and a couple of hard outs.
Now this is where, as a pitcher, the infield's back. There's a lot of baseball left. You got to concentrate making a good pitch, get an out here. If you get to 2 strikes, okay, you can go for the strikeout. But a ground ball to short, they score a run, that's okay. At least you get Hanley Ramirez out.
Ellis at third, Puig at second. Hanley Ramirez in batting practice putting on quite a show. He was peppering balls high off that Western Metal Supply Company building. And with first base open, we'll see how Stauffer chooses to work to Ramirez. Juan Uribe, perhaps a better double play candidate on deck. Nick Hundley with a good save. 3-0 the count.
If you're not giving him much, that is one heck of a stop by Nick Hundley.
He kept that ball right in front.
So the first 3 pitches to Ramirez indicating that Stauffer may be pitching around the cleanup man for LA. And nothing close to a strike. The bases are loaded. Bud Black out to talk with Stauffer, make sure he is okay after taking that line drive in the leg off Adrian Gonzalez. Bud saying, you think you got a double play ball in that right arm of yours? If you do, why don't we try that?
Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what they're talking about. How to start him off right here with the bases loaded. You start him off with a good slider for a strike down and away. Take our chances.
And Mark Grant, as a pitcher, you remind yourself on a comebacker.
1, 2, 3. Play catch with your catcher. Fire a strike to Nick Hundley.
Uribe, a 260 hitter. The reason he was elevated into the 5th spot in the order to start tonight was because of Clayton Richard, his success against Richard. 3 home runs and 12 for 30 against Clayton. Now the Dodgers threaten with bases loaded, 1 out here in the first. Strike 1.
Good located fastball, knee high, outside corner. Perfect pitch.
Ellis at third, Puig at second, Ramirez at first. just off the plate. Not quite the numbers against Stauffer that Uribe has against Clayton Richard. Tough play. Headley gets the out at first as the run scores. 1-0 Dodgers as Ellis checks in, and Uribe has his 15th RBI of the year.
Well, fortunately for Stauffer, that's a good pitch. But this is the only play Headley had, is to go to first base. He always got a good jump coming off of third base, and he makes a quality pitch. And Headley gets the only out that he can get.
It's almost like one of those good news, bad news jokes, right?
He hits it harder to Headley. It's a double play. So 2 outs. A.J. Ellis, the catcher.
But hey, if he can get out of this with just 1 run, that's doing some work.
Puig over at third now, and Ramirez at second with 2 out. A.J. Ellis, a long home run to left center field last night in the 9th inning. But the Padres came away with a 6-3 win. .92 on that fastball strike.
Well, the life of a long reliever, huh? Tim Stauffer coming to the ballpark tonight. He was hoping to watch Clayton Richard deal for about 7+ innings or so. Next thing you know, he's in there firing against these Dodgers.
There's that late call, but on the corner with a slider. 1-2. Got him swinging. And the tag by Hundley just to be sure to first base. The inning's over. Tim Stauffer, good pitching, diffuses what could have been a big first inning for the Dodgers. They get only 1 for Kershaw. .21st. Appropriately, the Dodgers are here. They play the longest games of any of the National League teams, so we got more daylight in which to enjoy this one tonight. Glad you're with us. Tonight's Padres lineup brought to you by Toyota. Logan Forsythe will start things with Denorfia hitting second. Jace Headley had a big RBI last night for an insurance run. Kyle Blank's cleanup. Had a giant home run against Kershaw at Dodger Stadium earlier. Jesus Guzman bats fifth, and Nick Hundley. Pedro Siriaco at shortstop. Will Venable in the 8th spot, and Tim Stauffer will hit 9th. Dodger defense brought to you by Hyundai. Reads this way: Herrera left, Schumacher center, and Puig in right. Uribe, Ramirez, Ellis, and Gonzalez around the horn, and A.J. Ellis behind the plate. Clayton Kershaw, 5-4 record, but that's totally misleading. ERA 1.84, tops in the National League. Batting average against Kershaw 191, best in the National League. One ball and one strike to Forsythe. Denorfia and then Headley to follow. 1-0. Dodgers get a run, but Tim Stauffer pitching out of trouble. And not only the one.
You know, the one thing I look at, Tony and Dick, when they face a guy like Kershaw, who they have beaten twice, is the mindset going up there. They're not going to be intimidated by this guy. They're going to try to pick out one pitch and get their best hack on it. Right, Tony?
Yeah.
1-2.
Not only is Kershaw a power pitcher, but he usually locates pretty good. And you touched on it early. 3 walks in one game, 4 walks in another. He usually doesn't walk a lot of guys, and so you can expect something around the plate.
And you know, it's funny, those 4 and 3 walks in those starts respectively against the Padres are games he's lost. So they got the walk total up. And those are the most he's walked in any game. He walked 4 twice and 3 twice during this year.
Full count to Forsythe. One hopper to Ramirez. And Forsythe out. Hit it hard.
Well, let's take a look at the left-hander. Get to him early. If you get that fastball in the zone, swing at it, put a good hack on it. He dominates the glove side of the plate. So what I mean by that is when he's standing on the mound, his glove is on his right hand, right? So that means down and away to lefties, down and into righties. He has no problem hitting that spot to go along with that fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. Low 90s, you can get up to 95 on that fastball.
Denorfia takes a strike. Kershaw 2 years ago won the Cy Young and was the holder of the pitching triple crown. Most wins, best ERA, most strikeouts. Then comes back last year, leads the majors in ERA for the 2nd consecutive year, and this year leading the National League at 1.84. So he just is absolutely an outstanding talent.
Yeah.
Maybe you could argue that he's the best pitcher in baseball right now.
Well, before too long, he's going to be paid like it.
There's our phantom camera slowing down.
That's a 4-seam fastball out of the hand of Kershaw. See how that arm turns in. Tremendous torque on that shoulder and elbow. High 3/4 arm slot for the left-hander.
Ground ball pulled foul off third.
Maybe even more over the top, don't you think, Tony?
Yeah.
And Dick? True over the top.
Look at that long stride.
Yeah,
exactly. He's a long strider. He's straight over the top, but fastball, sinks and cuts. Slider, big break, breaking balls, 12-6, straight over the top.
Koufax had a long stride as well.
And a good changer.
That looked pretty good. 2-2. Now, it was remindful of Sandy Koufax's delivery, that slow motion, that long stride. And they say that Kershaw has huge hands, long fingers, just like Koufax. And the count full. So he goes 3-2 to Forsythe, gets Forsythe to ground sharply to short. Now 3-2, Chris Denorfia. Denorfia has a couple of home runs off Kershaw. And stays alive.
I think Kershaw does a really good job of keeps the ball down. He really, for a power pitcher, he still likes to challenge guys down in the zone. He will pitch up, but for the most part, he's not going to be afraid to throw any one of his pitches for a strike.
See how that ball just disappears in his big left hand. So he sets up the 3-2. That ball hit high in the air, left field. That's got some carry. It's to the wall. Denorfia has hit another one against Kershaw. His third homer off the left-hander, and he ties the game at 1. Denorfia touches them all. His 5th home run of the season.
Fastball in. He did a nice job getting the barrel of the bat to that baseball.
First pitch swinging is Headley, fouls that one off third, and Uribe takes care of it. One pitch and one out to Headley. The ball was hit so high you had to wait to see if it would carry, but here in the early evening on a warm night, it had plenty of push.
Look at the top hand. See how the palm stays up? Not only to the ball, but through the ball. Then the roller rolls over. That's why that ball didn't hook. That's why it stayed straight.
It was a 3-2 pitch, and did you look at the Fox tracks? Heavy dose of pitches on the inside part of the plate. And you know what? Sometimes hitters look that way, right, Tony?
Yep.
He got to that fastball. I tell you what, if taken, that might have even been a ball, if taken.
Kyle Blanks, the hitter. And the count 1-1 to the big man. Off Kershaw, he hit that facing of the second deck, almost hit it over the bullpen in Dodger Stadium earlier this year in April.
Yeah, the Padres have roughed him up. 5 home runs.
Padres have seen him more than anybody. And sometimes, you know, even with a quality pitcher like Clayton Kershaw, if you see him enough, you know, you start to pick up little things.
McClellan really takes his time before gesturing the call, and finally he says that is strike 3. Blanks caught looking, but Chris DeNorfia had the fans here at Petco Park looking. A gaze, a home run.
After Chris DeNorfia's home run, and that means the Padres have hit 27 homers. They lead the majors in the month of June with that number. Also, interesting stat for the Padres, they have now hit 14 different players have hit home runs in this month of June, and the only other team to have 14 different players hit home runs in a month was the 1998 National League Championship team. Of course, Tony Gwynn knows something about that, and they did it in the month of August.
All right, thank you, Laura. Well, the Padres with some surprising punch, and especially against Kershaw back in early April at Dodger Stadium. Cabrera homered against Kershaw, and so did DeNorfia. Blanks is homer, so he's given up only 6 home runs all year and 4 to the Padres.
Spreading the wealth, huh, as far as the home runs in the month of June?
Yeah.
1-1 tie here, top of the second. And ball 4. Skip Schumacher with a leadoff walk. That'll bring up Elian Herrera, who's just been called up from the Albuquerque Isotopes, the AAA team for the Dodgers in the Pacific Coast League. He's 1 for 4. There's his numbers at Albuquerque, hitting 300. Chokes up on the bat handle. Good line drive hitter. And takes strike one. Actually 5 home runs by the Padres of the 6 he's allowed. So the rest of the National League with only 1 home run off Kershaw. Padres with 5. That one slams off the auxiliary scoreboard on the third base side. Nice turnout. It's as if it'll be close to last night's crowd of 30,000 plus. Law enforcement night. Over 2,000 of our men and women, police departments around the county and city are here, as well as Hispanic Heritage Night. 1-2.
Another wrong with that pitch there. Up. Kind of spinning him a little bit.
That one two-seamer.
And a tip of the cap to Beverly Holtz, who is a member of the Escondido Police Department, sang the national anthem. She's got a professional voice.
Did a great job.
Yes, she did.
1-2. Whoa, up and in again. Some of the Dodger fans here didn't like the back-to-back high and tight.
Nothing wrong with doubling up inside. Let's see if Tim Stauber counters with a two-seamer away or something off speed like a changeup.
I think he's going for that inside two-seamer, trying to run it back over the plate. But
when you're ahead in the count, you want to miss there. You don't want to miss over the heart of the plate.
And now falls behind 3-2 after jumping out to a 2-strike advantage. Walked Schumacher to open this inning.
He went soft there with the changeup, but Herrera wasn't biting.
Kershaw, the pitcher, on deck.
See if he runs here.
He goes. Swung on a miss. Throw by Hundley. Strike him out. Throw him out. A double play.
I mean, that wasn't even close. That wasn't close right there. And that's, the responsibility there goes to the hitter to try to put the ball in play. But look at Nick Hundley's throw. Liriaco had that in plenty of time. See Schumacher looking in.
Kind of slowing him up a little bit, it looks like, huh, Tony?
Hoping he's looking to see if the ball is hit.
Right.
It's a hit and run. And the hitter swung through it. And, after that, all you could do is try to get to the bag as quick as you can.
Padres have done a good job throwing out runners. They're up near the leaders in the National League. Kershaw taps one out in front of the plate. Hundley throws him out. And that's it for the Dodgers in the second. We go to the bottom half of the second. Embracing a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Poll. This is a good one because we saw some great defense last night. Logan Forsythe, shallow right center field. Denorfia going into somebody's nachos. And Alexei diving and snatching it, taking away extra bases. Use the hashtag. What was your favorite catch from last night? Forsythe, Denorfia, Amarista. Use the hashtag. We'll get back later with the results. And most of all, thanks for playing.
And that Padre D has been brilliant this season, and particularly the plays we've seen this last week. Beginning with the game-saving catch by Venable in center field at AT&T Park to beat the Giants on Monday night.
Dick, what was your favorite if you had to vote? Use the hashtag now.
Including Venable, or just the three were
just the three
from last night? Oh, yeah, Amarista. I mean, that was, as we watched it, and it just didn't seem any chance that he could catch that ball.
Tony?
I was without question Amarista's ball when it went up. We had the best seat in the house. I didn't think there was any way he was going to get to that.
I'm going hashtag Amarista. Not to influence the viewers by any means, but I think
we already have.
Yeah.
Jesus Guzman, 2 strikes on him in the dirt. And again, you see how far he had to run to get to that ball. You know, when you showed that part, it seems, yeah, that's really a good catch. But to fully appreciate the effort, you have to see he was over in left center field.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes. Guzman. Curveball doesn't break. So the 6 home runs given up by Kershaw this year. Denorfia 2, Blanks 1, Cabrera 1, Jerko 1, and Goldschmidt of Arizona has the other. And a swing and a miss. He took something off that delivery, and Guzman is gone. Second strikeout for Kershaw.
He's had a good slider, but it's got tilt to it.
It does. Yep. Down and in, that's a tough one. Even if you hit it, it's tough to keep fair.
Yeah. Watch the way this dive bombs down and in. See the way Ellis caught that?
And the grip inside the glove, getting on top of that. And from that arm angle, Tony, that enables him to get up on top and snap that ball to get that tilt.
Nick Hundley. Deep to third. Long throw across Uribe, and 1 pitch, 1 out to Hundley. 2 quick outs recorded by Kershaw here in the second. Brings up Pedro Ciriaco. Fans had a chance to cheer Ciriaco last night. A triple that broke a 2-2 tie, and then a 2-run homer in the 8th inning to secure a 6-3 win. Also stole a base. And showed excellent speed running out the triple to left center. Right center is your triples alley. Left center, usually you have the shorter throw, shorter relay, but he easily beat the relay into third.
He did in that situation. He was looking to bunt at first and then decided he was going to swing away and found the gap in left center field.
Well,
huge hit.
Yeah, and Kershaw likes to keep the ball down. We know that. And the hits that Ciriaco's gotten have been up in the zone.
That one hit off the head of the bat, and they'll loop into right center field for a base hit. Well, that's 3 straight hits for Ciriaco. Triple home run single. He's a double away from a 2-game cycle.
We were talking yesterday about feeling comfortable here, like he's been here longer than he has. And offensively, he's fit right in. See, that ball's in towards the label.
He says, "Get out of my cocina."
And he just fights it off into right center field.
In his comments today in the Padres Live pregame show and in the postgame talk last night, he uses the expression over and over, and it really does simplify what this game is all about. Ciriaco said over and over, play hard, have fun.
Yep.
That works all the way down to Little League, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Will Venable, Padres leading home run hitter with 10. In the lineup tonight, lefty against lefty. There goes Ciriaco. The throw by Ellis is not in time. Steal number 2 for Ciriaco.
Again, just talking about fitting in, doing all those things Padres have done. He got a great jump. See him get a good jump. Ellis comes out of the chute. Pretty good throw. gets that hand in there, gets himself in scoring position.
And it didn't even look like he had that big of a lead as well. Just goes to show you the speed there, diving towards the outfield part of the bag. And it's very key not to overslide the bag. If I'm an infielder, I'm keeping that glove on the runner, especially sliding head first.
2-0 fastball for a strike. And Kershaw, tough to steal against. In fact, he has picked off more runners in the last 4 years than anyone in the National League. So Ciriaco contributing early again tonight. 2-1, Venable.
You see Kershaw use the slide step there, maybe try to disrupt the timing, even though there's not a runner on first base. It's all about disrupting the timing of the hitter rather than the big traditional leg kick. He slide steps there.
And man with a souvenir.
Way to go, Tanner.
Chance to break the 1-1 tie here for Venable. 2-2. Clayton Richard, 2 pitches and suffered some injury that we can't specifically share with you yet. So Tim Stauffer on deck. 3-2. It's the third 3-2 count. The first 8 batters for Kershaw. Ground ball sharply, but right at Gonzalez. Venable good wood, but direction to the glove of Gonzalez. The Padres and the Dodgers are tied at 1.
We head into the top of the third inning, and we are coming your way from the Jack Deck. Beautiful place to watch the game. I'm here with Corey Brock, MLB.com writer for the Padres. And Corey, how about the Jack Deck? Are we going to actually leave after this, or are we going to watch the rest of the game from here?
Are there computer outlets here? I would like to sit here, watch the game, and file my story from here. Who do we need to talk to?
We're going to work on that. Okay, so the Padres have had plenty of success with their reserve players, not necessarily the starting lineup, because a lot of them have been on the DL. What's your thought on this?
I think this is maybe, this is my 7th season covering the team. This might be the best depth I've seen this team have. Not only just to have these injuries they've had, but be able to not just sustain where you're at, but actually play better. I think it's a real testament to the front office, to Bud Black, his coaching staff for getting a lot out of these guys, and ultimately the players.
All right, well, make sure you check out Corey's articles on MLB.com. He's got the beat on the Padres coming your way. Dick Enberg, back to you.
All right, Laura and Corey, thank you for your inside information. Always right on top of the latest news with San Diego. Mark Ellis leading off the third inning. And the count 2-2 to Ellis. He singled off Stauffer back in the first inning after Stauffer replaced Clayton Richard. Richard throwing 2 pitches, and in came Stauffer, gave up singles to Ellis and Puig, and a line drive back to the mound off the bat of Gonzalez that Stauffer himself was able to block and get an out. Off the fist, foul. Then a walk to Ramirez loaded the bases. A run scored on Uribe's ground out to third, and Stauffer struck out A.J. Ellis to get out of a very tough situation. Not expected to be on the mound this early in the game. Came in, had the bases loaded, allowed only 1 run.
Well, the one thing I've noticed in the short time Tim's been out there, he's being much more aggressive inside to both lefties and righties.
Did he go? No. Mike Muchlinski, the umpire at first base.
Bet you a dime to donuts he goes. Oh, he went.
Wait till
Look at that.
No, the bat didn't.
Oh,
no,
for the love of Pete.
No, the barrel of the bat did not cross the front edge of the plate. A line drive to left field, and Ellis with his second line drive hit.
Pete's getting on the love again, Professor.
Yeah, I've got to meet this Pete guy.
Well, he gets another crack at it. It's all about location with Tim Stauffer. He's not going to blow away hitters. He elevated that one. He's got to work down to the zone. If he's not going to get a strikeout, he's got to work down to the zone and get a grounder.
Brings up the sensational rookie, Yasiel Puig. Singled through the left side his first time. And it was a fastball that he hit for the base hit. And we saw last night that he is an excellent fastball hitter. But some of the breaking pitches, he took some less friendly swings. Just misses outside. No, that's a strike. See, my problem here, folks, is that I watch the play as it happens, not the monitor. And in order to know what McClellan calls, you have to watch the monitor because the center field camera tells you whether he's called it a strike. I'm blocked out. So I'll watch him for a while. And he calls that one a ball.
As Tony mentioned earlier, for the catcher and the hitter, he audibilizes, right, Tony?
Which is fine, but
broadcasters.
Right.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can't stand it because you want to be in on the action, want to know if it's a ball or a strike. But
he went after a pitch away, and it's a breaking ball. 1-2. 22 years of age, this young man from Cuba. Signed a 7-year deal for $41 million. He moved to Mexico and then migrated here to the States. Yeah, you can see the intent of Stauffer, nothing inside.
Stauffer's trying to make him hit a breaking ball. Something off speed. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to get a heater.
If he throws him a fastball, it's going to be in off the plate. It's going to be elevated.
He tried that last time.
Uh-oh, he tried it again. Line to center, and there's room for Venable to chase it down. That ball seriously struck by Puig, and it was a fastball.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened the last time. Only last time he rolled it over in the hole for a base hit. This time he keeps his hands inside the baseball and he drives this thing to right center field.
See, that's why I think when you throw inside there, you have to get it in just a little bit more. Yeah, I don't think you can throw a fastball in there for a strike. He's going to hit it well, and that's a hang with him because it's an out.
He did the right thing. He didn't try to pull that.
Right.
If he did, he probably would have broke his bat. But you're going to get in on him. You need to get in there.
1 out to Adrian Gonzalez, who smashed a line drive back at Stauffer. And Stauffer able to put a left hip or left thigh on it and deflect it toward the first base foul line and get an out. As the runners Ellis and Puig on with singles moved to second and third, and Ellis eventually scored on the ground out by Uribe. First baseman Guzman, foul ball. He was thinking about could I get to this and get a double play some way. There's a foul ball and a moot point. Back to first base comes Mark Ellis.
called that foul? Did you see McClellan call
You know
that
what?
foul?
I saw the first base umpire call, but that's Tim McClellan's
That's
call because
exactly.
the ball's on the home plate side.
That's why I was asking. Because
But he may have seen McClellan call a foul, and then he just let us all know. Thank you for letting us know. Line drive foul. When Adrian was here with the Padres, Tony, and with your association with the ball club and member of the community, did you have many conversations about hitting with him?
I did, and Adrian was one of those guys who was inquisitive about getting better. And I think the thing that helped Adrian get to become this great hitter that he's become is, Adrian, when he first came up, he liked to pull the ball. And, after a year here playing at Petco Park, he decided, hey, I'm going to use the whole field, start, hitting balls the other way. And that's when he really blossomed and became, to me, a really good hitter.
And his home runs here at Petco were to left field.
Hit a ton of home runs to left field here.
I don't think I've ever seen an easier swing and a ball go the opposite way than the ball off the bat of Adrian Gonzalez.
And, of course, when he went on to change uniforms, putting on the Boston Red Sox flannels, he peppered that green monster.
Absolutely.
Repaint that after a half season, the way he was taking that ball the opposite way.
That's the thing. He's not very flamboyant. He's steady Eddie. Adrian Gonzalez.
Matt Kemp looking on. There's a foul ball off to the left. Count remains full to Gonzalez with Hanley Ramirez, the cleanup hitter, on deck.
The thing about Adrian is the Gold Glove first baseman. Just not many guys in the game better than him around first base.
Made 2 plays last night. Took a double away from Will Venable in the first inning, and then that flip with a glove at home plate to deny a run. Center field, Venable is there. 2 away.
That was a good pitch by Tim Stauffer because it kind of looks like he got in on him a little bit for the easy fly ball.
Let's take a look at that last pitch.
Two-seamer.
A little bit too quick to it. Is it off toward the end of the bat?
Oh, that's in.
Oh, he got in on him. Yeah.
On the label.
You see from that super slow motion, the phantom slow motion, how small the sweet spot on the bat is. What are we talking about?
You're talking 6 inches. That's what you're talking.
Two baseball widths.
And more times than not, balls are going to hit closer to the trademark than the sweet spot.
Oddly, a good block. First pitch to Hanley Ramirez. He walked the first time.
It's a good way to find the sweet spot. I did this as a physics experiment in high school, actually. You hold the bat down towards the ground by the knob. You take a baseball. You start pounding on the end. Where you feel the less vibration is the sweet spot. The farther you go down, the more vibration you'll feel on the knob.
And the farther you go toward the handle
you'll feel the vibration, right.
There's the delayed strike call from McClellan. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Physics lesson. Dr. Mark Grant.
Did I explain that well enough?
You young children don't try this unless under parental supervision. No, that was terrific explanation. 1 ball and 1 strike. Way out in front. Change up.
I'm just going to use this marker as an example because let's say you hold a baseball bat like this by the knob, right? You take a baseball, you start hitting it like this, right? You're going to feel vibration up here, but the more you move up, you'll feel less vibration. Where you feel less vibration is the sweet spot of the bat. And as Dick mentioned, the farther you go up near the trademark, you feel more vibration there. I got an A on the test.
You should have. Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramirez. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Leadoff single by Ellis, but he's left at first. Middle of the 3rd at Petco. Padres and Dodgers are tied at 1.
Take on the Phillies at 6:30 p.m. And join us as we celebrate the storied tradition of the Padres bullpen. We'll have special live guests, learn about the Padres bullpen, look back at some of their greatest moments, and celebrate the life of a wonderful man, a great coach, the late coach for the Padres in the bullpen, Darryl Ackerfeld.
That will be a special night. Monday night against the Phils. They're in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. Dodgers completing the 4-game series on Sunday afternoon. Forsythe will follow Tim Stauffer, who takes a wild hack at that high delivery from Kershaw. 0-2 the count. Curveball 1-2. Beautiful, beautiful Friday night in San Diego. Tapped by the mound. Mark Ellis there at second base to throw out Stauffer for the first out. Here in the third, tied at 1. Logan Forsythe steps up. Hit the ball sharply, but right at Ramirez, the shortstop, his first time. How comfortable, too. It's just the temperature is right around 70, no breeze. What better place to be than at Petco Park tonight? And many folks have made that decision.
Yeah.
Fouled at the plate, and Kershaw ahead on the count, 2 strikes.
If you're a Padre player, it just doesn't get much better. Great weather, great ballpark.
Terrific support for a team that is 22-7 the last 29 games here at home.
I think they're starting to believe they can be a good team.
Absolutely, and that's a proven fact because you know they've swept the Braves, they've swept the Dodgers, they've swept the Giants. I mean, Baltimore 2 games at their yard.
Swept Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Look at this Padre team. You know, just within a division, they're 18-20, and the Dodgers are 9-22. And if you're going to win this division, you got to beat teams in your division.
And think about the lineup tonight. No Maben, no Quinton, no Alonso, no Jerko, no Cabrera. 5 of the starters not either in uniform or in the game tonight. So the depth, as Corey Brock indicated, of this Padre team, and with the success of their minor league operation, things looking very bright.
Yeah, you got to. If you're a Padre fan, you got to feel good about the progress this team has made already. Remember last year.
Outside, and Forsythe has worked the count full again. And this year too, 2-10 start, then was 5-15, and oh no, not again. And the Padres have really rallied and begin tonight just 2.5 games behind first place Arizona. Out of play.
Well, Dick, you mentioned last night, this point last year, were they
18 and a half games behind at the same stage a year ago.
The rally has started sooner this year than last year.
Yeah.
With the second half of the season after the All-Star break, if Padres can continue to play at that level, it will be interesting. Line drive left field, so he works it to 3-2, and Forsythe with a single takes a big turn, bobbled in left field, and Forsythe's into second base. Herrera having trouble fielding that sharp one-hopper cleanly, and Forsythe, with the urging of Dave Roberts, his first base coach, makes it to second.
Yeah, Herrera tried to field this as like an infielder. And Forsythe hits this bullet to left field to the backhand side. And Herrera tries to backhand this like an infielder, and it bounces up on him, and then he tries to barehand it. And that's the cardinal rule as an outfielder. When you bobble it like that, use your glove.
Yep.
You try to barehand it.
Dodgers adding to their league-leading total of errors. Now 55 miscues for the Dodgers.
We talked earlier about how important the defense is, and showcasing the Padres, the great plays they've made, and the ordinary ones that help you to win games. The Padres in the error department, 31 compared to 55 for the Dodgers. See if they can take advantage here. Denorfia homered his first time up in the dirt. 2-0. Take a look at Logan Forsythe. We're going to see this in the Phantom cam.
He's only got 2 hits this series so far, but he squared up a whole bunch of balls. The first 2 outs he made yesterday.
The
put it right on the button. You see that bat doesn't. There's no vibration on the bat.
Good call.
When you hit it squarely.
And checks the swing on ball 3.
From a hitter's standpoint, that's what you want. You want to hit it where you don't feel anything.
That must be a great feeling.
It is when you can do it right. But again, I think in this game, more times than not, when you make an out, it's not because you square it up. It's because it's more towards the late.
3-0. And that pitch in there. This is the 7th time Kershaw has gone to a 3-ball count. He paid the price when he went 3-2 to Denorfia in the first inning. 381 feet of home run for Denorfia. And he walks him. Doesn't walk many, Kershaw. So 2 on with 1 out to Chase Headley. And the pitch count jumping for Clayton Kershaw. 50 now. Yeah, setting the scene on this Friday night in the very contentious National League West. Arizona with a 2-game lead over San Francisco. They're entertaining Miami tonight, the Giants. And San Diego 2.5. Colorado has lost again to Washington. They're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, the Rockies. And then the Dodgers.
You know, Tony, there's always something that rings in my brain when you look at standings. You've always said it when we were playing till this day. We just have to worry about our own business, right? Worry about tonight. Worry about today. Can't control the other games. Keep playing like this.
Yep. You know, we talked in series. You know, win the series. Let's go out. 3-game series, you win 2 or 3. 3-game series, you win 3 or 4. You win the series, you move on to the next one. And the way the Padres are playing right now, it's a different guy every night. Just somebody steps up there and delivers the big hit.
We talk about winning series. Great quote by the professor, Casey Stengel. They don't pay me to win every night. They just pay me to win 2 out of 3. Is that a great quote?
2 out of 3 for a whole season.
Yeah.
It'll assure you're in the playoffs.
Pretty much get
Absolutely.
it done.
And you're talking about a team that is shortchanged in terms of personnel, the starting personnel with the injuries and at all. There's Corey Lupke, who many thought would be the ace of the staff last year with Venable. And the man at the plate is yet to really bring back the prowess that he showed last year. Chase Headley, he started tonight at 222. Pretty good pickoff move to Ellis. Nicely timed.
I'm just glad Logan Forsythe didn't get spiked. Because as Ellis went in there, he kind of did a little toe dance.
Is that one of those timing plays where the catcher cues the pitcher when to throw?
It's probably the daylight play where he sees either that, Dick, or the daylight play when he sees the infielder flash the leather. It could have been from the catcher, though, as well.
1-1. And Headley takes inside 2-1. Padres with an opportunity to snap this 1-1 tie in the third. Forsythe a single to second on the air by Herrera and left. Denorfia walked, and now the action pitch coming up to Chase Headley. 2-1.
About it earlier. Padres have seen a whole lot of Clayton Kershaw here this year, last couple of years, and you kind of make your own book, and they've done a good job thus far. We're only in the 3rd inning, but making Kershaw throw a lot of pitches, being really patient, really not chasing stuff out of the zone. When you face the best guys in the league, that's what you have to do. You got to make them work.
So it's typical. You see the probable pitchers and you say Kershaw, oh no, but that's not the way the clubhouse thinks.
Right.
They say, oh yeah, let's go after the best. And they've got 2 wins against Kershaw so far this year. Now the 2-1. by the third baseman, a fair ball. That'll score one. Forsythe in. They may get two out of this. Here comes Denorfia. He will score. Herrera, trouble in the corner, and into third is Headley. 3-1, San Diego. Chase Headley, a two-run double. Or maybe a triple here, depending if they give Herrera an error.
Trying to pound Headley inside. 0-1 fastball, 1-1 slider. That's a fastball, 2-1. Boy, he turns on it. A lot of pitches inside, and Chase Headley just keeps it fair over the bag. Everybody's off and running. And a crooked number here for the Padres in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, Herrera had all kind of trouble with that ball in the left field corner.
And it's been ruled a triple at this point, and the Padres with a chance to add to the 3-1 lead. One out, Headley at third. Infield in for the Dodgers. Kyle Blanks. Infield tight. Hitter's delight. That's a couple of plays that Herrera's had trouble with in the corner. Fly ball to center field. It's shallow, falling in a hurry, and it's a base hit for Blanks. Headley scores. It's 4-1. A bloop single by Blanks. 27th RBI of the season for the big man.
Just getting the job done. Looked like Blanks got jammed here with a cutter. See, he's trying to be short. It gets in on him a little bit. Schumacher lays out, but comes up a little bit short.
Also, Tony, isn't it a case of the outfielders showing a little respect for Blanks with some pop, playing maybe on the deep side? He fights that one off and dumps it in there for the base knock.
Well, the Padres have been a nemesis for Clayton Kershaw this year. Remember, he leads the National League ERA 1.91 coming in. Guzman struck out swinging his first time. So in the inning, after Stauffer grounded out, Forsythe the single to left, moved to second on the error by Herrera. Denorfia walked. Headley's triple inside the bag at third that rattled around the left field corner got two in, and now Blanks a bloop single to center to make it 4-1. Last of the third inning, Denorfia homered in the first, and now the three here in the third for the 4-1 advantage. One and one. Guzman 8 for 19 against the Dodgers this year, a .421 average.
Guzman took his shot at what he thought was going to be a fastball.
He's giving these Padre hitters a heavy dose of pitches on the inside part of the plate. Not doing much pitching away.
In the dirt, 2-1.
Tony, is there something you said about that? How the Padres are just waiting for
again? They've been very patient at the plate. They really had, he's trying to get that slider down and in, and these right-hand hitters, they really haven't been at it that much in this game. They've forced him to have to, come with something over the plate, and when he has, they put it in play.
His 60th pitch, and he's only got one out in the third.
Here's that ball that Headley hit down the line. And, from up here, you can't see it, but Herrera had all kind of trouble with this thing. It ricochets off the wall, bounces over his shoulder, and that's what allowed Headley to get to third, which allowed him to score on the blue hit by Blanks.
First triple of the season for Chase Headley. Up high, and another full count. Kershaw has not been his usual sharp self. Lots of 3-ball counts, 8 of them in the game.
.61 pitches to record 7 outs for Kershaw. That's the Padres battling up there at the plate, making him work.
Lanks with a safe lead. And Guzman goes down swinging. Second time he struck out. The third strikeout for Kershaw. Well, the Padres, in beating him twice, have scored 5 and 4 runs. Tonight with 4. And we're just 2 outs into the 3rd inning. Nick Hundley grounded to third his first time. High and away. Well, Kershaw is 0-2 against the Padres this year. Here at Petco, he's pitched with success, 3-1 in an ERA just over 2. The Padres with 4 runs here, 3 in the 3rd, with the 4-1 lead. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nick Hundley. Reminder, folks, tomorrow the game's telecast, national telecast at 4 o'clock. And we'll be back with you on Sunday, Fox Sports San Diego at 12:30. Two and 1. Matchup tomorrow. Edinson Volquez for the Padres against Zach Greinke. Greinke making his first appearance since the April go-around when he took the blow from Carlos Quinton, fractured his collarbone. 2-2. Carlos Quinton getting closer to being available. He was to have taken some batting practice today. Did you see him?
I watched him. He didn't swing hard. He was just swinging nice and easy.
So he could be used as a pinch hitter tonight. Probably won't start until the Philadelphia series. Line drive, hooking foul. The Padres are hitting the ball hard off Kershaw. A couple of hard outs as well. Forsythe, remember, in the first inning, a hard ground ball to short. And with a runner at second in the last inning, Venable's ball was struck hard to first baseman Gonzalez.
Well, when he's pounding that fastball and that breaking ball in, it seems like they're picking one out that's catching a lot of the plate and spinning on it and hitting it well. I haven't seen a lot of changeups to righties.
He threw Hundley one 2 pitches ago, but he really hadn't commanded that pitch very well tonight. So ready to throw pitch number 68.
Probably a breaking ball right here, down and in.
And he got him. But the Padres score 3 times on 3 hits. The key blow, the 2-run triple by Chase Headley. On to the 4th. The home side leads by 3.
in beautiful Petco Park. The Padres lead the Dodgers 4-1 as we head into the top of the 4th inning. And Clayton Richard out of the game after just throwing 2 pitches. We just got word from the Padres that it is his left shoulder, and it's the AC joint, the joint right at the top of the shoulder that he's having a lot of pain with. They will further evaluate him, Dick and Mark, and let us know what the situation will be.
Well, thank you. And very nearly another spectacular play by the Padres, leaning over the barrier. Guzman almost making the catch of that foul pop from Uribe. So the AC joint is where the clavicle meets the scapula, your shoulder blade up in the left shoulder of Richard. And
yeah, really short arm that pitch there.
The seriousness of that will be determined after full examination and x-rays and that sort of thing. So let's hope for the best for Clayton Richard.
Absolutely.
Uribe knocked in a run with a ground out in the 1st inning. And the count goes 2-1.
Well, Mark, Sweeney joins us down by the Padres dugout, and Mark, getting to Clayton Kershaw, crooked numbers in that last inning.
Yeah, making him look uncomfortable, especially on the mound. That is hard to do.
Ball into right center field and falling in a hurry, and drops in for a hit in front of Denoifia. Uribe, a leadoff single.
But we're seeing Clayton Kershaw really exude himself on the mound. He's throwing a lot of pitches. It looks like he's trying things on the mound. That is not typical for a Clayton Kershaw.
And he looks deep in thought there, not the kind of pitcher that has these spectacular numbers in strikeouts, ERA, batting average against. The batting average against him 191 coming into the game. Padres with 5 hits and their 4 runs. A.J. Ellis struck out swinging in the first time. Kershaw was the #1 draft pick of the Padres, or of the Dodgers. Wishful thinking, huh? Of the Dodgers as a teenager 7 years ago. He was the 7th overall player picked out of his high school in Dallas. And the #1 draft pick of the Padres this year, making some noise in the College World Series. We'll share that with you. 2 strikes to Ellis. Off the 5th foul. Mississippi State and the Padres #1 pick Hunter Renfroe, the outfielder, hit a 3-run homer, and that led Mississippi State to a 4-1 win over Oregon State. And here it is. Got a curveball hanging and ripped it into the bullpen. A 3-run shot for the Padres #1 selection. And Mississippi State now has not lost a game. UCLA playing North Carolina tonight. The Bruins had not lost.
A good looking swing right there, huh?
Oregon State now eliminated, so Mississippi State can wait for either UCLA or North Carolina for the College World Series championship. Best 2 out of 3 next week. 1-2 to the Dodger catcher. And another good dig by Nick Hundley.
Well, the good thing about this score, 4-1, is that the Dodgers, Uribe on first base, Mattingly, he's gonna want these Dodgers to hit to try to move them around. So the running game pretty much out of the picture. Tim Stauffer can make some good pitches and not really have to worry about Uribe, who's only got 1 stolen base on the year, with the score being 4-1.
66 pitches now for Stauffer. That has to be the most for him this year. And a swing and a miss. A.J. Ellis goes after a pitch away. He has struck out twice. 4 strikeouts now for Stauffer.
Mark Sweeney, it's nice to have a guy like Tim Stauffer who can come out in a situation like he has and give you innings.
Yeah, Mark, what a luxury for Bud Black and his staff to come out and have a lot of movement. I think Tim Stauffer loves these situations. He is more comfortable in a starting rotation. But what a luxury for Bud Black, and he's doing an outstanding job tonight.
And there's another starter who's in the bullpen, Tyson Ross. He'll be the backup man for Stauffer. Up the middle, takes Forsythe to the bag. There's one, and that's all they'll get. The speedy Schumacher legging it up the line. An awkward force at second as that ball almost fielded by Stauffer And then Forsythe handled a tough in-between hop.
At first, initially, I thought that Forsythe was going to get that baseball and maybe run at the runner at second base, but his momentum may have carried him inside the baseline. If you take another look, I thought he was going to go to the base runner, but he dishes it off to Siriaco, and they get the lead runner.
You know, Mark, what I like about that play is Tim Stauffer not trying to tip that baseball.
Yeah.
So many times you see that it tips into the outfield. Nice job not taking that and letting Logan Forsythe handle that.
Yeah, knowing that ball's going to go to one of your fielders and not enough behind it to get into center field.
Yeah, that's one of those tough ones, guys, because it's just natural instinct, you know, I want to get that baseball, but a nice job there by Tim.
So 2 outs. Schumacher at first. Here's Herrera. He struck out into a double play his first time. Stauffer, who's been working in chunks of 1-2 innings, and now suddenly 4 innings, 3 2/3 to be exact, and 70 pitches, so being watched closely. He has thrown 76 pitches once this year. That was against St. Louis.
Well, Tim's spot in the order is going to come up next half inning, batting third, the number 9 spot, so that's why you saw Ross throwing. So Bud Black can get little increments, 3 innings here, 3 innings there, depending on how Ross goes, if he is in fact the guy coming out next time. Try to hold the Dodgers at 1 run.
2-1 to Herrera, and he fouls that one back. Tyson Ross up in San Francisco. A rare performance by him. He faced 5 batters and struck out all 5. And going back historically, that's almost impossible to do.
What in the Carl Hubble is going on there?
There you go. Carl Hubble. King Carl. 2-2 to Herrera. Schumacher with his lead, a safe lead, and a ground ball to Guzman. He can take that to the bag himself, and 4 solid innings. Surprise to Stauffer, and he's done well. I guess they bobbled that infield try. Enberg, E. And here it is, brought to you by Coors Light. Freezing it for Denorfia.
And what I love about this, Dick, is you can see that trampoline effect off the barrel of the bat. And this is the greatest shot because you can see when you hit it off the sweet spot, it just takes off and impacts that barrel of the bat. Tony talks about not the vibration, but when you hit off the sweet spot, it's that trampoline effect. It takes off. You don't feel anything. What a feeling from a hitter.
Yeah,
Chris Denorfia is doing it tonight.
I want to see that again. You can actually see the ball's embedded a bit into the wood, isn't it? Ground ball sharply to Uribe. And one away as Siriaco, who singled the first time up, hit that one smartly.
That ball will flatten out a little bit. That was a great shot.
Watch here. See, the ball actually is has sunk into the wood itself. Oh, that's great stuff.
You know, it's one of those swings, guys. You go back and you look at your bat, you see the laces of the ball in the barrel of your bat. You know you squared it up. Sometimes you'll even see Bud Selig's name on the barrel. That's when you should go show your teammates and say, this is a perfect swing.
I never had that problem.
I didn't have too many of those either, but I tell you what, if I got one, I was going to show everybody.
My bats were very clean on that barrel.
Venable hit it sharply the first time, but right to first baseman Gonzalez. And for you fans who didn't play a lot of baseball, but are golfers or tennis players, it's the same. You know, the vibrations again. If you hit the ball in the sweet spot of your tennis racket or the golf club. And Venable strikes out to put out 2-3. 5 strikeouts now for Clayton Kershaw. And apparently the Padres' Quinton is not available because there is Stoltz, the pitcher, is going to pinch hit for Stauffer. It's early in the game. Bud Black wants to save his bench players, so Stoltz, a good hitter, will get a chance to swing the bat, and Tyson Ross will be the Padre pitcher in the top of the 5th inning. Stoltz hit a home run at Dodger Stadium, a 3-run shot against the Dodgers earlier this year. Well, he's gotten 2 good swings. Not exactly doing Stoltz a favor to have to go up there against a Cy Young Award winner in Kershaw. And 3 pitches, he strikes out. So 6-man fan by Kershaw. We go to the 5th inning. The Padres leading 4-1.
Four to 1, and we are enjoying the beautiful view out at the Western Metal Deck. This is fantastic. If you want to watch a game, this is a good spot to be. And right below me, Kyle Blanks is playing left field tonight. Bud Black talked about Blanks earlier today and said he's been so impressed with Blanks' play so far this season. One of the best things about it has been his health, and he has stayed healthy. But he said Blanks is just scratching the surface of his potential. He says so far Blanks has shown that there are no glaring weaknesses in his game. And one of the things that Black mentioned about Blanks is that he has worked on a diet change, and that's really been a difference in his health and his overall play. Sometimes what you eat can make a big difference, right, Dick?
No, absolutely. I mean, every sport and the whole nutrition aspect of an athlete being best prepared to maximize his or her potential. I think back popularized by Martina Navratilova, who's one of the first tennis players to really go into a serious diet program and extended her career as one of the great players of all time. Tyson Ross took Clayton Kershaw 1-1.
Well, Stauffer gave him 4 good innings. Now Tyson Ross comes into the game. Fastball, slider, change. It's a fastball, 94, 95 miles an hour.
Nicely gloved by the 6'4" Ross. Took that one out of center field.
Nice play.
And on a second look, I think Forsythe had it backed up, but nevertheless takes the mystery out of it, and a nice 1-3 put out to start the 5th inning. Mark Ellis 2 for 2 has 2 of the 4 hits off Tim Stauffer. 4 innings for Stauffer, 1 run earned, 4 hits, walked 2 and struck out 4. The first 2 men he faced when he was an emergency pick out of the bullpen because of the injury to Clayton Richard, the starter. Gave up the 2 hits to Ellis and Puig, and then after that, very tough.
Yeah. Did well that first inning, like you said, 2 hits to get out of that first inning, just giving up 1 run. And he really settled down after that, pitched very well. So
Ellis lined a single to right, and in the 3rd, singled sharply to left field. Two balls and a strike. Yasiel Puig on deck for the Dodgers. Tyson's younger brother Joe, pitching at Fort Wayne, had another good outing this week. One of the top picks of the Padres a year ago in the draft. 3-1. Kershaw's given up 4 runs and 5 hits through 4. And he's aboard again. Ellis 2 singles and a walk. That brings up Yasiel Puig, and the fascinating development of this young Cuban star and how opposing pitchers are working him continues. The 2 times he struck the ball, a single and a line out to center, were fastballs. Jason Marquis finally went to the breaking stuff off speed and struck him out twice last night. And Houston Street also struck him out.
You know, guys, I think the point last night that was made, and I think Mark Grant talked about it. Now this is the 2nd time he's seen the Padres. Now he goes around the league, and so many people have seen him already once. Now you'll see the league adjust to him and throw him different pitches. That's what happens with all of those scouting reports that go around and the videotape that is analyzed.
Broken bat ground ball. Headley has to hurry, and he gets the speedy Puig. Ellis moves to second base, 2 away.
yeah, good breaking ball by Ross. Puig hits it right off the end, and see, for a big guy, he gets down the line very well. All right, at the end,
Snaps that handle.
I think what you talked about last inning, Tony, was that vibration, and that is not a good feeling, especially off the end of the bat. See that broken bat on that shot. What a great shot that is. But
yeah,
you want to try to square it up. And Barry Bonds always talked about catching it with the barrel of the bat.
Here's Gonzalez with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Forsythe knocks it down, throws, gets him. Good hustle by Forsythe. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4-1 San Diego. And welcome back. Oh, what a shot. Full moon night on this June 21st. We celebrate the longest day of the calendar year. It almost looks like a navel, doesn't it, at the bottom of the moon? Crater. Hard to believe, isn't it, that a man actually walked up there. Forsythe, Denorfia, Headley in the bottom of the 5th inning against Kershaw. Sends in a strike with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Forsythe hit the ball hard twice. Sharp ground ball out to Ramirez, the shortstop, and a line single scored a run in the 3-run 3rd. There's a rare off-speed pitch and really took a lot off. 69.
Really hadn't commanded that pitch that well tonight. He's had a little trouble with his slider, and he hadn't thrown that breaking ball.
Pops him up. First baseman Gonzalez and second baseman Ellis. Who wants it? Ellis. One away, and it's time for the Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders, most strikeouts by pitchers this season. And Kershaw behind the rookie of the Mets, Matt Harvey, and Samardzija, the Cubs hard-throwing right-hander. Now there's a combination for you. Koufax and Kershaw, a couple of men, surname starts with K, and they surely put a lot of K's in the scorebook.
Now, Tony, I wanted to ask you too, if you saw Kershaw, it's not commanding that breaking ball, did you eliminate it as a hitter?
I would. I think the Padre hitters have. They really hadn't been in a position where he could throw it for a strike, so I think the Padre hitters have just eliminated that breaking ball and have settled in trying to get the fastball and slider.
Chop toward third. That's going to be a very tough play, and Kershaw can't throw him out. Denorfia with an infield hit. Had no chance, even though he gamely went after that ball and made the slide and throw. And fortunately, he didn't throw that one down into the right field corner. So Denorfia, a home run, 381 feet, and a single 45 feet.
Well, a few changeups Kershaw's been able to throw for a strike today, too. And Denorfia beats it in the ground. You see Kershaw, Gold Glover on the mound, make a nice sliding play, but can't throw out Denorfia.
There again, the dismay of the pitcher when you make a great pitch and fool the hitter, and he winds up getting an infield hit.
You know, guys, we always talk about Clayton Kershaw and how hard it is to run on him. We saw Pedro Ciriaco go. This is a situation where with that breaking ball, not commanding it, look for that ball in the dirt.
Chase Headley, a big blow in this game, a 2-run triple. And he lines this one to Ramirez. But that's a good sign. Headley making solid contact as his bat apparently is awakening. So 2 out. And Kyle Blanks a looping single to drive in a run in the 3rd.
Well, you Chase Headley, you got to feel good about the at-bats you've had tonight. He's done a nice job. That ball kind of gets in on him just a little bit. Hits it pretty good, but right at Ramirez, the shortstop.
Blanks, the cleanup hitter, took a 3rd strike and looped a soft single into shallow center field that knocked in the Padres' 4th run when they scored 3 in the 3rd. 2 outs, Denorfia at first. Blanks with a homer off Kershaw this year. Kershaw, accustomed to pitching deep into his starts. 9 of the last 10 times he started, he's gone 7 or more innings. This is his 84th pitch. Gonzalez digging that ball out and slapping the tag and made it very close.
A good job of Adrian Gonzalez letting that travel as long as it can, trying to put that tag on the back of the base.
Good cut. 1-1.
Challenged him with the fastball.
Padres trying to win their 8th consecutive game at home. They haven't done that since 2010 season. Two and one, the big Cow Blanks. He's hit safely in 16 out of the last 18 games. Flips that one into the lower deck, back beyond the aisle. Along with law enforcement night and over 2,000 men and women, our police forces in San Diego County and the city. And Northey, when he tries to steal, very successful. Good to have those folks with us this evening. Low, 3-2, and congratulations on this Hispanic Heritage Night to 9-year-old Aldo Sanchez. Just completed the 4th grade. He was honored. There's a young guy already helping young people to help others. Food drives and shoe drives. Nice to salute this young guy, Aldo Sanchez. Ground ball toward the hole. Ramirez, long throw, and dug out by Gonzalez. 5 complete at Petco, and the Padres lead by 3. To you by Mossy Toyota. Mossy's summer prices get lower. Check out Mossy.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96 Farmers. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Totals after 5 innings here at Petco. The Padres 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They've left 3. Dodgers 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error, have stranded 5. And Tyson Ross into his 2nd inning of work, facing the middle 3 of the Dodger order, Ramirez, Uribe, and Ellis. Ramirez walked and struck out. '96 on a nice, easy flowing fastball.
He does.
Ball jumps.
Fluid. It just jumps out of his hand.
And you talked about tilt earlier of a pitch of Clayton Kershaw's. How about Tyson Ross? That slider of his has some serious tilt to it.
Late swing on the fastball at 94. Of course, you all know the story. Tyson Ross was part of the rotation for a while, but injured the left shoulder with a ball he struck well at Dodger Stadium off the center field wall, but a minor dislocation of the left shoulder. So they wanted to be sure he could protect himself. He already shown that in this game with the comebacker leaping high to field it. But they don't want to risk further injury by him hitting, so they have to work around that situation. And Ross could conceivably come up in the bottom half of this inning.
We saw that with Dustin Mosley. Remember, we talked about that as well.
Yeah, Ross has been taking batting practice, trying to level out his swing so he doesn't get that extension to where it could come out. He's trying to. Buddy Black was talking about last week, him just flattening his swing out, his follow through out.
Count is full now to Hanley Ramirez, leading off the Dodgers sixth. Ball four. So the leadoff walk. He has walked two men as we check the game. If the bases were loaded in the first inning with one out, and Uribe's ground ball got the Dodgers one, but Denorfio in the bottom half of the first inning knotted it one, his second home run this year against Kershaw, and then with men in scoring position, first and second, a two-run triple. Chase Headley, and then a bloop single. Kyle Blanks knocked in the fourth run as Headley scored, and that's where we stand 4-1. Tim Stauffer going 4 emergency innings in relief of Clayton Richard. Part of the story tonight, 2 pitches for Richard and then an injured AC joint in the left shoulder. And that will be examined thoroughly, and undoubtedly a full report tomorrow. Juan Uribe knocked in the Dodger run in the first inning with a ground out and dropped a single into right center his last time.
Yeah, I know you guys probably touched upon it last inning, but can't say enough about what Tim Stauffer did coming out there. They're doing a fine job, 4 innings of work.
Dodger bullpen has done a really good job. And the lead guy's been on for the Dodgers in 5 of the 6 innings, but only 1 run.
It'll be interesting scores decision. Let's just say hypothetically that Tyson Ross pitches 4 innings, matches the 4 of Stauffer. Padres are still in front, and it'll be up to the official score to decide who would get the win should the Padres be victorious. Plenty of time to decide that. 1-1.
And as you can see, these Dodger hitters are going to have to turn up the dial a little bit late on the Tyson Ross fastball.
Put Mark Sweeney on that list of commentators as well. We got a full house, huh?
Yeah.
Roll call. And of course, Mike Pomerantz and Mark Sweeney ready for the postgame show, getting ready. Runner goes. Line drive, base hit, left field. And Ramirez hit so hard, even though he was running on the play, had to pull up at second base. Second hit for Uribe.
You know, one of those hitters in the lineup that Don Mattingly will hit and run with. This is a slider, catches too much of the plate. Hit so hard that he can't make it to third base.
So 2 on, no one out here in the 6th. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate for the Dodgers. A.J. Ellis has struck out twice against Stauffer. The Dodgers last night runners in scoring position 0 for 5, and tonight 0 for 5. So 0 for 10 runners in scoring position in the 2 games so far. Ellis almost stepped into that fastball. Wasn't that far inside. Infield at double play depth. walk leading off the inning. Ramirez and Uribe's line single. No one out. There's the breaking ball away. That's the pitch that struck out A.J. Ellis the first 2 at bats.
And on the Phantom cam, all 6'6" of Tyson Ross. What is this pitch here out of the hand? That's a 4-seam fastball.
You see the dynamics, the muscle action it takes to throw a baseball.
And a short stride for Tyson Ross, enabling him to get to that downward plane that we talked about quite a bit. Nice.
1-2 to Ellis.
That's a nasty slider right there.
Fastball at 95, a little high. 2-2.
Boy, if he could harness that location on that fastball, 95, 96, with that biting slider, oof, Tyson Ross is going to be a tough pitcher to hit.
Struck out 30 batters in 36 innings so far this year. Just got a piece.
Good slider right there. He hit the target perfectly. That's right where Hundley wanted it. Ellis able to foul it off.
Hit a homer last night in the 9th inning. Did A.J. Ellis, his 3rd of the season. Did he go? Nope. And the count is full. Tough to take that pitch.
I didn't think he was going to.
Well, he's grounded into 3 double plays this year as we take a look.
Able to check his swing, but wonder what Fox Tracks thought of that pitch. So this is a big delivery here. 3-2 with no one out, 2 on. Mullen finally punches him out, 1 away. So A.J. Ellis has struck out 3 times.
You know, for a split second there, it looked like he was going to call that a strike. And that's a slider right on the black.
1001, 1002, 1003, and you're out of there.
Ellis knew. He knew right away.
So 1 out to Skip Schumacher. Walked and safe on a fielder's choice. This pesky left-handed hitter. Back over the mound. Forsythe gets 1 there. Back to first. In time for a double play. Guzman digs out a tough hop. The Padres turn 2, and that's it for the Dodgers in the 6th. Great throw by shortstop Siriaco. How about Tim Stauffer? The veteran comes in, emergency, after 2 pitches of the game when Clayton Richard forced to leave with a shoulder injury. Gave up singles to the first 2 men he faced, and after that 4 innings, only 2 more base hits. Gave up the 1 run and answered the bell and did it well. Guzman is up twice, struck out twice.
I think you had asked about the official score deciding on who would. You would think it'd be Stauffer, wouldn't you?
1 hopper to Ramirez, and he throws him out.
Well, I always look at the rule where you got to complete 5, right? And it's, you know, who
but he didn't start.
Exactly. But let's say Tyson Ross goes another inning.
I think that the official score has to look at the total picture at the end of the game and say which of the pitchers contributed most to the decision.
It's a judgment call, right?
Okay.
No, I mean that's the rule, right?
I guess.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I don't know what the rule is. I'm just thinking that
it's like Dick said, in his judgment, who has been most effective in the victory.
It's not as clear cut as someone coming and getting 1 out, and then his team gets a couple of runs, and then it shifts from a tie game or a losing game to a winning game. That's the easy call, but here it may not be that the case. We'll see. Nick Hundley has grounded out and struck out. Kershaw now with 93 pitches in the game, but he often goes 110. Nice cut for Hundley.
Buddy on the phone to the bullpen.
Kershaw has thrown as many as 132 pitches. Went 8 2/3 against Washington in a 2-0 shutout. And another 3-2 count. That's the 10th time he's gone to 3-ball count. That's not the way he normally works. You can see he is a workhorse. More pitches per start than any other National Leaguer. Ground ball toward the hole. That's through. A base hit for Hundley. Padres' 7th hit of the game off Kershaw, as Hundley delivers with 1 out on a 3-2 delivery, and that'll bring up Siriaco.
Nice bit of hitting there by Hundley, sitting on that slider. Uribe's glove in the left field for a base hit.
Siriaco singled to right field and stole his second base, and grounded to third his last time. Now he is 8 for 19 as a Padre. A .421 start for Pedro. Edinson Volquez gets the call for the Padres tomorrow, 4 o'clock on national television. He's 5-5 against Zach Greinke, 3-2. There's Eddie. Good humor, man. Ground ball, foul.
Pitch was up. He likes to pitch up.
.27 years of age, Siriaco from the Dominican Republic.
Grew up in San Pedro de Macorís, the hotbed of big league shortstop through the years. Tony Fernandez, the late Jose Uribe. Can go on and on.
Ground ball, foul again. And the next pitch will be the century mark with Clayton Kershaw. Siriaco taking his time, so Kershaw backs off.
You know, I thought it was interesting. Through 2012 against the National League West, Kershaw's 30-16 with a 2.4 ERA. But this year, it's a different story as far as the record is concerned. He's 1-3. He's still a nice ERA at 2.26, but he's only getting 2 runs of support.
Yeah, I think he's had the second least number of runs in support of his pitching of any National Leaguer. So that explains the 5-4 record.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that explains a lot. I mean, Dodgers are 12 games under 500.
Siriaco takes the long walk, and that is the 7th strikeout for Kershaw.
Hey, tomorrow night, guess what, folks? It's baseball night in America, and it's right here at Petco Park. Returns as Zach Greinke of the Dodgers play. They're going to tow it up tomorrow here. Take on Edinson Volquez of the Padres. Baseball night in America begins Saturday. It's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox.
And don't forget the All-Star game on Fox on July 16th from the Mets home park in New York. Venable takes ball 1. Hit the ball sharply, but right to Gonzalez the first time up, and struck out swinging in the 4th. Again, short an outfielder. Quentin not available to start, so but Luck has to use the left-handed hitting Venable, who again hits it well, but for the force at second base. And that's it for the 6th inning for the Padres. On to the 7th, a 4-1 game.
Working on the post-game show for you. What about the job Tim Stauffer did tonight?
Outstanding effort. It's all about picking up your teammates, and Tim Stauffer did exactly that. We've seen a lot of that, Mike, from this ball club, and that's the reason why they're winning consistently. Great job by Tim Stauffer.
So we'll have a breakdown on Tim. We'll also talk about the latest with Clayton Richard, who, if you weren't watching the game early, you do know that he left the game in the 1st inning after throwing just a couple of pitches. So we'll get you an update there. You'll hear from the manager, Buddy Black. We'll have all that plus a whole lot more when we see you tonight after the final out.
All right, Mike and Mark, always a great recap, resume, outstanding. The Emmy Award-winning Padres post-game show on Fox Sports San Diego. Tyson Ross to Elian Herrera and the pitcher spot, and apparently that'll be all for Kershaw tonight, as the Dodgers have Jerry Hairston Jr. in the on-deck circle. Back up the middle, and no play. Siriaco losing his footing and unable to get up to his feet, and the hitter Herrera with good speed, he wasn't going to get him anyway.
I'd take that ball on a short hop, but
well, it's going to be Andre Ethier now, as Hairston is called back, and Ethier will pinch hit for Kershaw. Ethier not starting because he has not had much success against the left-handed deliveries of Clayton Kershaw. Gets his chance now against Tyson Ross. Infield hit Herrera. Leadoff man on again. The Dodgers have had that first man on base most of every inning. In the first inning, the second inning, the third, the fourth, the sixth, and now the seventh. Line drive, one hopper. That's going to turn into a double play. 4-6-3. If Forsythe catches the ball, Herrera was headed back toward first base. He wouldn't have doubled him up, but by the short hop, made to order room service. 4-6-3.
Ethier hits a bullet. It's just a one hopper. Got the ball to Siriaco. Plenty of time to complete the double play.
The third for the Padres tonight.
See him kick the bag here, just kick it. Plenty of time to fire it up and get it across the first base to complete it. That's some kind of nice. I love that. And you know what, guys? Being a pitcher, when a hitter squares one up like that, hang with him. Right, Tony?
Yeah. Hey.
At bat +1.
Yeah, you can't feel bad as a hitter even. You hit that ball right on the button. It's right at, just happened to be right at somebody.
Don't change a thing, right? As a hitter, right?
Can't change nothing. It's like Headley. Headley hit a line drive to the shortstop last time up. It was a good swing.
So Ethier sits down and victimized with an atom ball. 2 strikes to Mark Ellis, who's been on base all 3 at bats, 2 singles and a walk. So the line on Kershaw, he goes 6 innings, 4 runs all earned, 7 hits. He walked just 1, even though he went through a lot of 3-ball counts, and he struck out 7. And again, his teammates giving him only 1 run.
And for Tyson Ross, especially after that double play, shut him down right here, get back in that dugout, and add on to those 4 runs.
There you go.
Ellis leading the way. Dodgers 6 hits, 2 of them for Ellis. And Uribe 2 singles and an RBI on a ground out. Forsythe. 4-3 on the putout. We go to the stretch half of the 7th at Petco with the Padres in front by 3. Real friendly and real close. By the Experience Buick Lease, it's a new lease on luxury. And by the Aramco Group, purchase, refinance, reverse. Bottom of the 7th inning, Brandon League comes out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw won't pick up a win again tonight as his teammates giving him only 1 run, and the Padres getting a home run by Denorfia in the 1st inning and 3 runs in the 3rd. The Keeblo a triple that knocked in 2 by Headley, and Blanks got the other one home on a bloop single. The tap man of the Dodgers, Brandon Lee. And it's Jeff Decker, who made his major league debut last night. He walked and stole a base. Good cut.
Took a shot.
And Decker saying just what a thrill it is just to be in the dugout. Tries to get himself situated next to veteran players. Loves to sit next to Mark Kotsay and hear him think. That one slicing toward the box seats down the left field line and back about 7-8 rows. Whoa! Finally captured by an Ethier fan. Decker, then Forsythe and Denorfia against Brandon League.
Well, Brandon League is a 3-pitch pitcher. That fastball, he'll throw that split finger as his secondary pitch, and he'll toss up a slider as well. Mid-90s on the heater.
Gives up some hits, opposing batters at 299. 2-2. Dale Thayer easing his way into pitching position as he warms up. Tyson giving the Padres 3 good innings after Stauffer's 4. Three and 2 to Decker.
Tony, usually we'll see a guy like Brandon League out there to close him out when the Dodgers have the lead, huh? Not the case right now.
Ground ball, fair ball, gloved by Gonzalez and dropped by League, and safe at first is Decker. And the Dodger defense again comes up with an error.
Most other first basemen, that ball's down the line and headed for the corner. Gonzalez made a nice play on that ball. Decker nicely getting to it nicely. Gonzalez goes down, good feed, and League just doesn't catch it.
You know, that's got to be E1.
It is.
Ooh, look at it rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flirts with his first major league hit, denied by Gonzalez. So the leadoff man on for Forsythe, who has a single and 3 at bats. Takes strike 1. He singled in the 3rd inning with 1 out and moved to second base on an error by left fielder Herrera. Denorfia walked, and Headley chased home 2 runs with a triple into the left field corner, and Blanks then a single, RBI single.
I'll bet you a dime to donuts. And you guys know how much I love donuts.
Yeah, well, you do.
The talk on the bench right now is like, hey, you know what? They just gave us an extra out. Let's make it pay. Take advantage of that. Try to add on.
Dodgers were guilty of 2 errors last night, so 4 in the 2 games. Runner goes, line to right field, base hit. Decker on his way to 3rd. Puig with his great arm, and it's cut off. Back to first base, and they get Forsythe on the big turn. And almost, was he hurt or just his feelings? The way he rolled to his feet.
I think it's feelings. He knew he came around that bag and went too far. Perfectly executed hit and run, though.
How about Puig? He throws that clothesline to the shortstop, and Ramirez cuts it off. Look at this throw.
And I think that's what Forsythe was thinking. He remembered to throw the other night for Puig, trying to throw the runner out at 3rd.
Hey, watch Forsythe as he dives back to first base.
Yeah, he was holding his left shoulder.
Yes, he was.
Watch here when he dives back.
Oh,
lands on that shoulder. Oh my. Infield in with one out. DeNorfia lines this one to right field and deep. Puig makes the catch, tagging Decker. And even the arm of Puig won't get him. The Padres add on as DeNorfia drives in another run. It's 5-1. A home run and a sacrifice fly for Chris DeNorfia tonight. Well, tonight's cold hard fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Major League or National League leaders, most players with at least 20 RBIs this season. What team? These are the teams, and the Padres have 8 with 20, none with 30. Now they've got a crowd there, each chipping in, and that's what we've been emphasizing all along. They appeal at third, but Decker did not leave too soon. So the error pays off for the Padres. That's an unearned run. And here's Chase Headley. Fouled out, 2-run triple and lined out to short tonight. Those 3 at bats right-handed.
I was going to say he had some real good swings right-handed.
So they do take advantage, the Padres, of the error by Brandon League. And it's a big insurance run. Gives them a grand slam lead. And we'll wait for a report. Perhaps Laura will be able to find out if indeed Forsythe was injured on that tag at first base. We'll see if he comes out to play second base top of the 8th inning. Well, the way he's playing, Padres could ill afford to lose another. It looks to be okay.
That's a good sign. Hey now.
Way behind Headley. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Ellis set him inside. Did that look like a fastball or a splitting, Tony? Kind of tough to tell.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think it was at 95 on the gun, so it must have been a fastball.
Ground ball up the middle to Ramirez. And that'll end the Padres 7th inning. They score an unearned run on the air by the pitcher, the single Forsythe and a sacrifice fly to DeNorfia.
leading the Dodgers 5-1. Time to learn 3 interesting things about Padres bench coach Rick Renteria. Apparently, he's quite the aficionado in the kitchen. He likes to cook Italian food. Also, he has a 13-year-old mutt, he calls it, German Shepherd, appropriately named Diamond. And his most embarrassing moment happened when he almost tripped on opening day in 1987, walking to the line in Seattle as they were announcing his name. Man, that had to be rough. What do you think, Dick, Mark, Tony?
Rick is such a wonderful man.
That's a fear of every player. Opening day, falling down.
Ground ball, big hop. Siriaco, not in time. Puig, the big man at 6'2", they say up to 240 pounds, and he runs like Bo Jackson. Infield hit. You can't waste any time with him going up the line in that big high hop.
Siriaco tried to set his feet.
I got him out. I got him out. I'm going out on a limb. See? Told you, safe.
For the love of Pete.
What's going on?
So the leadoff man on for the 7th time in 8 innings tonight for the Dodgers, and they've only been able to get one of those men around to score, and that was Mark Ellis back in the 1st inning.
Man, he can pick him up and put him down, can he?
Adrian Gonzalez. That one's hit high. How far? Denorfia at the wall. Just measured perfectly, and Puig tags and easily advances to second base. Gonzalez just missed that. Adrian going back to the dugout saying, "Wait, I thought they moved the fences in 12 feet in right field." Little too high.
Yeah, just a little bit off the end. Denorfia does a nice job getting to the wall.
That ball struck 2 hours ago is a home run.
Yeah.
A little bit of green air late was the difference. Puig to second on the tag up. Here's Ramirez. Struck out and walked twice. Padres trying to make it a 7-4 mark against the Dodgers this year, and to improve on their June record, best in the National League. A win tonight would make their mark 13-7 in this month of June. One strike to Hanley.
Yeah, I like how the Padre pitchers have come inside off the plate, announcing their presence of authority with the fastball.
Yep. And have been able to back it up.
Exactly.
With quality pitches on the outer half.
Dale Thayer doing a little trim job on that beard. He's just going with the straight like goatee. The Van Dyke.
That ball hit well to left center field, and a long run out there for Blanks. That ball rattles against the boards. Puig will score from second on a double by Hanley Ramirez. It's 5-2. Boy, just seeing Puig running at full speed around third, he's electrifying. RBI double Ramirez. He posed. He thought he had a home run.
Yeah.
He's been the hottest of the Dodger hitters. 2 walks tonight, 1 for 2, and he's now 10 for the last 14.
Thought for a split second Kyle might have been able to get to that, but
well, Dale Thayer, who has been outstanding through the first couple of months, and the last 2 or 3 outings has given up some runs. Aaron Balsley out to give him a little pep talk.
Now, how they've been pitching Uribe coming out like Puig, sliders away. Hey, if you want to throw a fastball, I would say don't throw him a fastball in for a strike. Throw it in off the plate. because Uribe will expand that zone if you throw that slider off the plate. Now, if you throw it for a strike on that side, it's a different story. It's got a slider speed back.
Yeah.
Nick Vincent getting ready now. Vincent got the win last night. Pitched an inning, the 7th inning, and picked up his 2nd win.
Tyson Ross left a slider in the middle of the plate to Uribe, and he lined it in the left field for a base hit.
2 for 3 tonight, 2 singles, and a ground out that knocked in a run in the 1st inning.
Hey, is it me, guys, or has Uribe trimmed down a little bit? He's lost some LBs.
That's a good point.
Yes.
He does look slimmer, doesn't he?
I mean, significantly.
Getting more playing time. You know, I mean, I thought Luis Cruz was going to be the third baseman, and Cruz is hitting a .140.
Out of play again. That back toward the press box.
He has been late on the heater.
He's not shortchanged ever, is he?
No.
He's protecting that baseball as if it were made by Tiffany. 2-2 to Uribe. Dodgers with a run here in the top of the 8th inning and have Ramirez at second, 1 out. Cutting into the San Diego lead, it's now 5-2. Might be a play here. Guzman just out of his reach. So the count stays 2-2 to Uribe gets another swing. A.J. Ellis on deck, 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Another souvenir. Padres a 3-run victory last night, 6-3. They lead 3 again tonight. Struck him out. Came back with a breaking pitch. And there's 2 away.
What a battle between Dale Thayer and Juan Uribe. And we started off, he's trying to make him fish for that slider because remember we mentioned it earlier that he's been swinging over that pitch. Very late, tardy on the fastball from Dale Thayer, and he will chase not only the slider away, but the fastball's up. Up. Oh, there's the equalizer. Even though that's down the middle of the plate, that has some serious tilt to it for the strikeout.
Brings up A.J. Ellis. A long night for the catcher of the Dodgers. Up 3 times, struck out 3 times. Tim Stauffer got him twice, and Tyson Ross the last time. Hanley Ramirez at second. The only thing unlucky about his 13 is that he's a tough man to get out. It's unlucky you have to face him. Oh, he has come back from injury with a flourish.
See, he's wearing that protective device on his hand in case he has to slide.
It's a dislocated thumb, wasn't it, in spring training?
Protecting those digits.
Looks like he's got a cold one in there.
It's a koozie.
Don't want to take any chances.
1-2 the count. Fly ball, right field, can of corn. DeNorfeld. But the Dodgers get one on a couple of hits. 5-2 the score. Brought to you by Petco, where the healthy pets go. By Modelo Especial, discover the Especial. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxury Lexus automobile tomorrow. Look at that pronation. Oh my goodness. And you wonder why pitchers get elbow and shoulder injuries?
And you know what the amazing thing is, Dick, is that you look at the pitchers throughout the course of history who have a long career, 15, 20 years, have never been on the DL after you see a slow motion like that. For instance, Don Sutton. How many years did he pitch? 21, 22 years? Not one day on the disabled list.
Nolan Ryan, I don't know, maybe one or two times in his career would span more than Sutton's 25, 26 years. Ronald Belisario to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning for the Dodgers. And Nick Punto goes in at third base. Padres 5-2. Kyle Blanks leads it off. Blanks, then Guzman and Hundley. League 1 inning, 1 run unearned, his own error. 1 hit and 1 strikeout. Check that. No strikeouts. Houston Street. At this point, a 3-run lead that would be a save situation. He pitched the 9th inning last night.
Ronald Belisario, the 2-seam fastball down and in to big Kyle Blanks.
He has such good stuff.
Yeah.
But his record has been disappointing. 3-5 with a 4.78 ERA. 94 miles an hour, and he's got a natural sinker.
Slider split. It's a power sinker. It's like hitting a shot put.
Bowling ball.
Inside, and the count full. Blanks. A looping single to center field that knocked in a run in the 3-run 3rd inning for the Padres. That single chased Headley home for the 3rd run and gave the Padres a 4-1 lead. Fouled into the glove. Ellis. Strikeout. Belisario. And it's time now for our San Diego fan of the game. He's well prepared to cheer and make that plural, fans of the game.
Hey, now that school's out, right? Kids are coming out to the ballpark, bringing their gloves and doing a little rodeo. Yeehaw!
They're having a good time. That's what counts.
Absolutely.
Guzman struck out twice and grounded to short. Padres led by Forsythe and Denorfia, top of the lineup. Forsythe with a couple of singles, and Denorfia a single and a home run. And a sacrifice fly for Denorfia. Two strikes to Guzman. In the top of the 9th inning, the Dodgers have the lower third of their order. Schumacher Herrera in the pitcher's spot, occupied by Punto. And Guzman strikes out for the 3rd time tonight, so Belisario comes in to take care of Blanks and Guzman on strikes. And here's Hundley, a single and 3 at-bats.
I don't think you went over Belisario's numbers, and what that tells me is not throwing strikes. And today he's come in and he's peppered the strike zone with that heavy sinker.
Hundley rips one to third, gloved by Punto. And it's a quick 1-2-3 frame for Belisario to the top of the 9th. Street to face the Dodgers, leading by 3. And we go to the top of the 9th inning here at Petco Park with the Padres leading 5-2. And time now for our Carl's Jr. star of the game. And Chris Denorfia, he got the home run in the first inning to get back the run the Dodgers scored in the top of the first. He walked and scored in the third, infield hit in the fifth, and a sacrifice fly in the 7th inning. A big night for Denorfia. Finally, I break out of my slump. I picked the stick slump. 10 points from Denorfia tonight.
Good for you, Professor, and that's a great night in the big leagues. Not only for Denorfia, but you as well. That's awesome.
So I go off to Wimbledon tomorrow, and with a good feeling about the Padres and certainly Denorfia's contribution tonight.
Hey, tell the Queen she owes me $20.
Do you want that in British pound?
Well, we wish you a safe flight, Professor. Have fun over there. You're going to be watching some tennis from the Royal Box in center court.
Invited on Thursday to sit in the Royal Box.
How awesome is that? That's awesome.
That is.
It really completes the cycle. You know, I did my first Wimbledon in 1979. It was the first time that Wimbledon was ever televised live back to the States. Breakfast at Wimbledon. Now, after all these years, I get to sit up there with the Royals.
That's great.
Have tea.
Good for you.
I'll tell you all about it.
You deserve it.
All right, Houston Street, 3 outs away. And the first pitch to Schumacher in for a strike. Schumacher has walked and grounded out twice, once into a double play. The Padres have turned 3 double plays tonight. Certainly part of the story. And 2 strikes quickly on Schumacher. Street last night gave up a home run to Ellis and back-to-back singles to Mark Ellis and Jerry Hairston, but battled out of it. Schumacher into a double play, and he struck out Puig to end the Padres 6-3 win. Jerry Hairston Jr. on deck. Just a little low.
Schumacher's a tough out. He's a guy that's going to battle, fight you tooth and nail.
Rolls this one to Kyle Blanks, who has moved from left field to first. Padres, here's the moving the pieces into different places defensively. And here's our Twitter poll results tonight.
What was your favorite catch from last night? It was Forsythe, Denorfia, Amarista, a landslide. Alexi Amarista going into the right center field gap. And it's worth another look at all 3. Logan Forsythe. Denorfia going into the stands. A little help from his friends. And Alexi.
That ball goes through. It's a 6-4 game, and the tying runs at the plate with 1 out. Huge play. So with the changes, Amarista goes into center field. Venable moves from center to right. Denorfia from right to left. Blanks from left to first. And that's Bud Black using these players. It's a team that isn't locked into one position. So many of the men available to Bud Black can play 4 or 5 different spots. Think of Forsythe alone. He can play second, he can play short, he can play third, and can play all the outfield spots. Hairston takes that one just out of the strike zone, 2-0. Two for 11 as a pinch hitter, Jerry Hairston. Takes a lot of pitches. 3-0. Nick Punto on deck. And then the top of the order, Mark Ellis. Lays that fastball right down the middle. 3-1. And Hairston, knowing the score and the situation, it would surprise me if he's swinging here. Make Houston Street throw another strike. And I'm surprised. Fly ball to left. Denorfia squeezes the second out.
I think I would have agreed with you if he had started. You know, had a chance to get some at bats, but you know, when you're pinch hitting,
You got to swing when
Hey,
you
you're
have the
looking
count.
for that fastball. When it counts in your favor, you're looking to do something.
That's a good point.
3-1. He's looking for a fastball. Got it just a little bit out in front of it.
First at bat for Nick Punto went in on the double switch in the last half of the 8th inning. And the fans rubbing in the score a bit here with 2 outs in the 9th to beat LA. Even the Angel fans want to beat LA. Been there, done that. One strike to Punto. And a ground ball to Forsythe. 1-2-3 for Houston straight, and the Padres win again. 8 straight home wins. 23 out of the last 30 games at Petco have gone the way of Bud Black's Padres. The final tonight, Mike Pomerantz, 5-2.
Wonderful night.